Good evening and welcome to Inside Fitchburg, live from FATV Studios at 780 Main Street. I did it. I did it. Don't ask me what the date is because I'm really struggling with 2026.
We're not going to go there.
All right. I'm one of your hosts, Alyne Butland.
And I am your other host, Beth Walsh. And this evening we have James Desrosiers, who has brought a couple of books here, and we're going to talk about that. And we're going to find out about Jim's story and why he's here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you came from, and how you got here?
Sure. Boy, that's in 30 minutes.
Yes, 30 minutes or less.
Why are we here?
Why are we here?
It's such an existential question.
And then we could talk about the meaning of life.
Yeah, after that. Yeah, we'll have time. We'll have time, yeah.
So I'm happy to be here. Thank you both for having me. I am a proud resident of Fitchburg. Not resident today, but I grew up in Fitchburg. The first half of my childhood was it was over in West Fitchburg, my first half of my childhood, and then the second half of my childhood was in Leominster. So I'm very conflicted with the whole football rivalry. But yeah, no, I grew up over on Temple Street in West Fitchburg, and I'd love to say it was a wonderful childhood with great memories. But back in that day, my home was not a good place to be. It was a very tough neighborhood, beautiful neighborhood now. I drove through before I came here. And what was going on in my home was very, very challenging. A 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment with my mother, biological father, and 6 siblings. Wow. So there were 9 of us growing up in a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment on Temple Street.
Yeah.
That's a tight fit.
Yeah.
It was pretty challenging.
Bunk beds?
No, there were only, well, a funny story about that is that there was only 2 beds in each bedroom. My parents took a sheet and they hung it in between the living room and dining room, and they made the living room their bedroom. And that left the 2 bedrooms. All the boys got one, 4 boys, and all the girls got the other. So with 4 boys in one room, there was only enough room for 2 beds. So every night, 2 of us got the beds, 2 of us got the floor.
Wow.
Now, it's your show, but I'm going to ask you a question. Right? I'm the youngest. I always started out in the bed. But guess who woke up in the morning on the floor? My brothers were bigger than me.
I was going to say the smallest one off the bed.
Yeah, so it was challenging, very challenging situation. The tight living conditions were one thing, but the government truck showing up on Thursdays delivering our food for the week was another challenge. Growing up poor was another challenge. Probably the hardest part was my biological father was, in my opinion, not a great man. He was addicted to drugs and alcohol and a lot of violence in the home. And it was not a fun childhood at all growing up. Yeah. And that's what I meant by the book that I wrote, the From Impossible book. Impossible doesn't mean Fitchburg, right? From impossible in the book, it's about, I'm going to grab it if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
This is not a shameless plug, by the way. I'm just really trying to explain my situation. So from Impossible, the main character's name is Jamie, and she grew up in a town called Impossible. And Impossible to me, because I'm Jamie, Jamie's the story about my life. Impossible wasn't about Fitchburg, it was about my state of mind. How nothing in my world was possible. I had no potential because that's what was taught to me. And I had no hope for myself, no hope for the future. So in my mind, nothing was possible.
And so the way that I met Jim was he came before the Finance Committee to talk about the Ron Bouchard charity and what they're doing in Fitchburg. And so why don't you explain a little bit about how you got connected with Ron Bouchard?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to, and it'll save you $10 from buying the book.
No, just give the highlights. You want to make sure people get the book.
I don't want people to think I'm here to sell the book, because I'm not. As a matter of fact, 100% of the proceeds, any book I ever sell, goes 100% of it goes to fight cancer.
That's amazing.
Which is I mean, I don't know anyone whose life has not been touched by cancer. So it's
unfortunately true. So the whole Ron Bouchard connection was when I was a kid. And my biological father finally went away for a long time, and my mother got brave enough to get a divorce finally. She married the right guy, one of the greatest guys in the world, Roger Desrosiers. And that's why my name is Desrosiers today. It's not my birth name.
Right.
He later adopted me in life. Well, when he came into our lives as a little kid, that's when I moved to Leominster, that's, he brought me to a racetrack. And I go to this racetrack, and it was in Westboro Speedway on Route 9. It's now a BJ's. But at the time, that's where I spent every weekend. And the first time I went to a race, I grabbed the roster, and I noticed that this guy named Ron Bouchard from Fitchburg, Mass. was in the race. And it was, I'll never forget, it was the first time in my mind I thought, wow, I didn't know somebody from where I live could do something like this.
Right.
So he was the one that really sparked that first, interesting. Well, I said, I'm going to root for him. Well, doesn't he win the race?
So you're like,
So he invites me to, and all the kids, every time Ronnie won a race, he'd invite all the kids down to Victory Lane, and they'd take a picture together.
Oh, awesome.
So I go down and take a picture with him, and it sparked that first challenge of my neurologistic wiring, my belief system.
Like, wait a minute, wait a minute.
If he's from my neighborhood,
is this?
That's Ronnie, right? Ronnie Bouchard. So I said, if he's from Fitchburg and he can achieve goals, maybe I can too. So I started to follow his career, and as he started to progress, not only from the local tracks to New England tracks to big time TV racing against Dale Earnhardt Sr. or Richard Petty, you know, and as he was succeeding in his career, I started to go after my own goals as well. So he was the first one that was really the first role model in my life. This is a great picture. This is now you're fast forwarding big time. When I don't even know if I should go there yet. There's a long story behind that picture. It's
we'll get back to that picture.
That's the original race car that Ronnie won, the 1981 Talladega 500.
Wow.
The same year he won the Rookie of the Year at NASCAR's highest division. And I'll never forget, in that car, I was at home in Fitchburg, sitting on the floor, in Leominster actually, and I still remember watching it with Roger, my dad. He's my dad. I still remember the announcer saying, Ron Bouchard from Fitchburg, Massachusetts wins the 1981 Talladega 500. And it changed something chemically inside my body. He made me realize that anyone that sets goals and anyone that never gives up, everyone has to have successes and failures, but if you keep at it and you keep trying and you work hard enough, anything is possible. Which sparked, a seed for the book later on in life.
So how old were you around this time when you first started seeing Ron Bouchard driving?
So that was when I was like 15, 16 years old.
So kind of at a crossroads in your life, like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do?
Well, now I'm safe physically. My mom gave me all the love that she could give me. This guy, Roger Desrosiers, entered our lives, and he provided the safety and the nonviolence and a home. And then I started to feel like this belief system starting to change within me. And after he won the Talladega 500, I made it to honor roll and then high honors in school, because that's what I could control at the time. I couldn't control a lot of things, but I could control what I did as a student and in school, and start to prepare myself for the future. And then I graduated high school in 1986, and off to the military I went, just like my three brothers did. 4 boys, all 4 of us served in
So Leominster High?
Graduated from Leominster High School. Blue Devils, sorry.
We'll forgive you. We'll forgive you this time. We're both Red Raiders. But that's okay. So once you graduated from high school and you went into the service, what branch of the service did you go in?
I was in the Air Force.
In the Air Force?
Yep.
My brother's in the
United States Air Force.
Air Force.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, thank him for his service, for sure.
Thank you for your service.
My pleasure and my honor, and the greatest thing I ever did for myself. Sorry to get back to being serious, but when you go, the military changed my life as well. When I walked into the military, you got to envision this broken child, right? The childhood trauma that I experienced, and then going off to the military, showing up on day one, and not believe. I'm still like have no confidence, low self-esteem. I don't think I can do much of anything at this point. And I meet this staff sergeant that's like 7 feet tall and wide. Some of you have seen drill sergeants in the movies, right? Yeah. This guy, I hated him at the time, but I love him today because he believed in me more than I believed in myself at the time.
Yeah.
And he would tell me to go run a mile, and I said, I can't run a mile. He goes, oh, you can and you will. So I ran just to get away from him. And then after like just a few minutes, I finished a mile, and I was like, that was easy. And he goes, good, go do 5 more.
Piece of cake.
Yeah. Well, no, at that point I said something like, sir, there's no way I could give you 1. There's no way I thought I could give you 1. There's no way I can give you 5 more. And he goes, oh, you can, you will. So I did. And then he told me to go run and take a hill.
Yeah.
At that point, I thought he was just trying to kill me.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But something happened in that moment. Instead of saying I can't, I immediately started to walk up the hill.
Yeah.
Partly because he took it away, or he took the word away, but also because he was forcing me to achieve things, even small goals. And the small goals was starting to change my belief system of what I could do.
Right.
So if I could do 1, I could do 5. And if I could do 5, maybe I can take a hill.
Yeah.
Right.
So I get to the top of the hill, and I remember I was first out of everyone on my team. And I remember crying. And I realized for the first time in my life that it was me holding me back from achieving my goals and dreams.
Yeah.
Right? My biological father was nowhere around me.
Right.
Growing up poor was nowhere around me.
Yeah.
Not going to the right colleges or whatever that means. Nothing was around me but me.
Yeah.
I was the one that wouldn't have attempted the first mile or another 5 or taking a hill.
Right.
So that was the day I promised myself to never say can't again unless you're inspiring, motivating other folks.
Yeah.
But that was the day I realized that I could achieve things. And to not put limits on myself. I truly believe human beings are limited only by self-imposed limitations.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Do you believe that?
I do. I think that that a lot of people, I think when you start believing the stories that people tell you about yourself,
True.
then you need to like recalculate and think, wait a minute, who am I?
And unfortunately,
I'm not what they think.
As a kid, the messages I was getting were the stories that I was being told.
Right.
I'm not good enough. My own biological father telling me he wished he never had me, and I was going to grow up to be just like him. And the teachers in some of my schools saw my original last name and then be like, oh God, I got one of those in my class.
Right.
And then society saying that I'm supposed to be on drugs, I'm supposed to be an alcoholic, I'm supposed to be beating my wife.
Yeah.
Right. I'm supposed to be unemployed, and these were all stories in my environment, which was all I knew as a kid.
Right.
So I just believed it. It created my initial belief systems that I had to rewire over time. With the first influence in that being Ron Bouchard challenging that belief system, and then the military forcing me to do things I would have never attempted because they believed in me more than I believe in myself.
So how long were you in the Air Force?
4 years.
Okay.
I wanted to join for another 4 years. I wanted to renew.
Right.
But we were going through the country was going through a recession and a rollback at that time of military forces. Right. So they told me you have to sign up for 8 more years today, or you got to be on the road and you got to go back home next week.
Okay.
And I said, no, I'll give you 4 more. And they said, no, 8 or next week.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready to commit to another 8.
8 is
so
a long
I came
time.
home and
That's
right. But everything.
That's
right.
That is a very long time.
Which looking back at it, again, life throws you these curveballs and you get these disappointments in life, as we all do.
Yeah.
But maybe the universe has alternative plans for you that you just don't know about yet.
Right.
Because if I did sign up for another 8 years, I wouldn't have met my wife of now 30-something years. She had 3 boys that I'm extremely proud of that are now my kids.
Right.
They produced 6 grandkids. I'm 57 with 6 grandkids. I had my own business for 30 years, and now I'm on Facing Fitchburg. So none of this would have happened. So I just let the universe do its thing and have faith that everything happens for a reason.
So where did you go from when you came home
Yeah.
Where did you go from there?
Well, I was lucky enough to work for a family that most of your viewers probably know, the Anson family.
Oh, yes.
I think they might be familiar with them.
Yeah, they're pretty popular around here. They're amazing. One of
Wonderful
the
people.
most incredible families I've ever met in my lifetime. I worked for Ron Anson at Merchants Bank in Leominster when I was in high school. I was counting coins in a closet after high school. So when I came back from the military, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Right.
So I went back to the Ansons and I said, hey, can I work at your banks? And they said, sure. So I went from teller to assistant teller to head teller to, on up the ranks. And then I was eventually recruited by Prudential. And then became their #1 salesperson of the year nationwide.
Wow!
And then I met my wife Claudia.
Yeah.
I probably have the order of some of these things backwards, but it's only a 20-minute
She'll remind you when you get home.
She knows. She knows.
Yeah, exactly. But during this whole time, I met my wife, who had 3 kids, and I was only 22. Those kids were only 5, 7, and 9.
Oh, small.
They were already 5, 7, and 9. I'm still a kid myself. But I always remembered that I always told myself, however I got kids, whether they're mine, biologically or otherwise, I'm going to be the best dad that I can be. So in order for me to be the best dad, I couldn't be a salesperson always at other people's dinner tables at night trying to sell them products and services, investments and insurances. So I told Prudential, I can't do this anymore. So
that's a big step.
It was. I walked away from a lot of money to do that. But they said, well, we think you're really good in how you organize yourself and how you set goals for yourself. Can you teach that to other people? So I said, sure, I can. So they turned me into a trainer.
Oh, wow.
So that's when I got into training. And then I really fell in love with the holistic side of training, not just helping people make more money, but help people become better human beings. So then I went off on my own in 1994, created Growth Co., which is now over 30 years old, and I'm still doing it today. So it's teaching people these soft, essential skills of leadership skills and goal setting, time management, communication skills, conflict resolution, which ironically goes full circle because I honestly think these are all the topics that we should be learning when we're a kid.
Yes.
I shouldn't be going into companies teaching people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s how to resolve conflict, how to set goals, how to lead yourself and others. So I'm spending the rest of my life, ironically, helping other people learn not just how to be better employees and make their companies more money. I'm helping human beings be the best version of themselves and be a good human so that they can not only succeed at work but also succeed in their homes as well.
Well, you sold me.
I know.
I'm coming in.
You know what it does, honestly? It gives purpose and meaning to why Jimmy from the block, little me, Jamie in the book, it gives us reason why I had to go through the childhood I did. Because now there's an expression out there, it's, I use my memories do not use me.
Oh, I like that.
So I'm using my experience to hopefully inspire, motivate others, and to show people that, hey, if Ron Bouchard can do it, and I can do it, anybody can do it.
Right. Yeah. No, I've had a number, I taught at Fitchburg State, and I had a number of students say, I don't think I can do that. And I always say, look, they let me teach, so therefore, and she was my student,
and
so,
oh, really? That's awesome.
And so, I think that's true. If you show people that and that's, I was born and raised in Fitchburg, and 8 kids in my family, that kind of thing. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and so and that's what I would say to these students. They'd say, well, I don't want to be a police officer. I don't want to do this. I would say, well, you can do what I do. Oh no, I couldn't do that. Yeah, you can.
Absolutely.
I did. Yeah. And I think that's the perfect example.
Yeah. Well, it's great that people like you are willing to share your stories. Part of the human experience is we all have to go through the highs and lows in life. And when you go through your lows, don't feel like a victim and don't feel all alone. Everyone has to go through lows. Character's not what you do in the absence of fear and stress. It's who you are in the presence of fear and stress. So wear your scars like we all have scars. Some are visible, some aren't. Most aren't.
Right.
Right? Most scars are internal.
Yep.
Wear your scars like a badge of honor.
Right. Right.
Right? Because you're still here.
Right.
So be proud of your scars and the fact that you're still moving forward. And then use your scars to hopefully give others inspiration and hope.
Yeah. So how did you get involved with Ron Bouchard?
Yeah.
To this day, where you are now?
Well, again, it's funny now looking back at it that none of it was planned, but everything comes full circle. So I come back, I'm working with the Ansons. I start to work with Appleseed Personnel Services in Leominster.
Right. Yep.
Maydon and Anita get me involved in the local chambers of commerce and the United Way as part of my duties as a salesperson and community person.
Yep.
So I go out there starting to raise money to help other people in other organizations through the United Way, and that's when I met Ronnie, and we started raising money together as adults.
Right.
So I never met him as a kid.
Right.
I only saw him from the stands.
Right.
And had that one picture of him in Victory Lane. Right? So he inspired me without ever meeting me.
Wow.
Yeah.
But as an adult, I was able to walk in his office and say, do you have a minute? I'm going to tell you a little story.
Yeah.
And I told them this whole story that I just shared with you and your listeners. And we sat there for like 3 hours like we were best friends.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was one of the nicest guys in the world. He would give a stranger the shirt off his back. Just one of the nice, and it wasn't until later, unfortunately after his death, that I met his family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Ronnie and I did a lot of good out in the community together.
Yeah. And so what's the charity that they have?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, sure, happy to. So he, unfortunately, a decade ago, Ronnie passes away from cancer.
Right.
And I had no one to mourn with because I didn't know him, didn't know his family.
Right.
So I told my wife, she knew how I was affected, so I went up into my office, shut the door, yellow pad of paper and a pencil, and I just wrote out my thoughts and how he inspired me. After the funeral and everything settled down, I went to the dealership, and Paula, Ronnie's wife, and Chad, Ronnie's son, was at the dealership. And
Is this the one in Fitchburg?
No, this was the one actually on Route 2 in Lancaster.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. So I walk in and I said, you guys don't know me, but if you have a minute, I'd really like to let you know how your husband and father affected my life.
Right.
So just like Ronnie, they were like, come on in. Sat down and I showed them my reflection and just sat there quietly as they read it, and they just started crying.
Yeah.
And then Paula just said, this is beautiful, and man, this would make a great story. And I said, really? So do you want me to make it a story? And she goes, if you want to make it a story. So then as weird as all of this gets, it's really cool stuff. I said, so what are you guys going to do now, at the dealership or with all of this? And they said, well, we want to create a nonprofit to memorialize Ronnie and to keep his impact and his influence in the community going.
Right.
But we don't know what the heck we're doing. And I was like, so I said, amazing. Just a year and a half ago, at the time, I got my master's degree in management. Half of it was a concentration in leadership and human organizational dynamics. The other half was in nonprofit organization.
Things happen for a reason.
I mean, it's too coincidental.
Right. Right.
You can't say all of this. You can't say yes. Serendipity is a perfect word.
Yeah.
None of this was by accident. I'm convinced of that now.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, next day we all sat down. We created a nonprofit called the RB Racing Charity, 501c3 nonprofit, to fight cancer and to continue to help youth organizations in our community, as Ronnie always did.
Yeah.
And we've been at it for over 10 years now, and it's been a great success. We've had a lot of fun with it, had a lot of tears, a lot of laughter, and we've done a lot of good out there together in the community.
Yeah. So the reason I asked you if it was the Ron Bouchard's dealership in Fitchburg is because the second new car that my husband and I ever bought was from Ron Bouchard's. It was a Honda from Ron Bouchard's on 2A.
Oh, yes, on Lunenburg Street.
On Lunenburg Street,
Right.
that's right.
You probably still have it. Those Hondas never
Actually,
quit.
you know what? That Honda, we had 325,000 miles on that Honda.
They never died.
And we sold it. We sold it for $500
Oh
with 325,000 miles on it. And my husband kicked himself for selling that car because he absolutely loved it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we would see it like years afterwards driving around, and he'd go, I told you we shouldn't have sold that.
Yeah, they don't die. Those cars refuse to quit.
But one day when we went in for service, he was there,
Nice.
a long time ago, and and all of in the dealership, all of his like awards and stuff were there, and it was very cool going in there.
It's amazing to me that we have this hero right here in Fitchburg, and still he can be such a mystery to other people. A lot of people know about Ronnie, and a lot of people don't, and so hopefully we can continue to get the word out there, and between the book and the dealerships and now the memorial and Coolidge Park, hopefully all of that will hopefully sustain his legacy and his impact forever.
So is this is the
oh my gosh, yeah,
this is
the markup.
That is the first clay creation by Meredith Bergman, the sculptor. So this is what the end bronze statue in Coolidge Park is going to look like. That's a 12-year-old version of Jamie, and being inspired by Ron, the race car driver. So through his racing, which is why he's holding the car, through his racing, he's getting Jamie to start to question, is what I think real, and are you starting to change how I believe in myself and what's possible? So the way Meredith was able to capture that is absolutely amazing. So this is a picture of Mayor Squalia and Paula Bouchard, and then Meredith, the sculptor, is on the left.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And Meredith has done world-class sculptures and tributes and memorials in some of the biggest parks in the world, in New York, Boston Common, Lexington. She just did women's suffrage in Lexington.
Oh, wow.
But we're talking life-size bronze statues. Just remarkable artist, and she's not a car racing fan, but the way that she got the story of how Ron inspired me as a kid, even though we didn't know each other, through his racing, and how Jamie is starting to question his belief. The way she nailed it still gives me goosebumps every time I look at that. This is the second clay statue that's now half size. And now she's really starting to work the fine details. And then the final one was a full-size version of this, which just got sent to the foundry last week to start to get bronzed.
Oh, wow.
So it's happening.
So when is that going to be placed? And you said it's going to be at Coolidge Park.
Yeah, we're going to put it in Coolidge Park, which is the largest park in Fitchburg as far as visitation. Not only by people in Fitchburg, but all surrounding communities and all the ball games and youth events and everything that go on there. So as soon as you drive into Coolidge Park, it'll be placed right here, what you're looking at, actually where Michael Bergman, Meredith's husband, is standing with the backpack. So it's right when you drive into the park. It's the first thing you're going to see. There'll be a curved bench with Ronnie and Jamie sitting on it. And then just like that. The granite, actually, we got permission from the city of Fitchburg to take the granite from Rollstone Quarry to make that bench.
And that, I think, is the one of the nicest touches. I think that's just fantastic.
I mean, it's all about coming from Fitchburg. From the ground, the bench, and then you've got this guy that was born in Fitchburg. He goes on and creates success through his racing and his auto dealerships and his community work and being a great family man. And then he inspires along the way this kid from Fitchburg who grows up, has his own definition of success, and then he uses his life to hopefully inspire and motivate others.
And I think
I couldn't,
kind of cool.
we couldn't
end on a better note. So thank you so much for being here. This is great, and we can't wait to have you come back, and we'll have pictures with the real thing.
Well, thank you for letting me tell my story in hopes that it inspires and others. And I'm really so proud and so happy to be back here in my hometown of Fitchburg.